Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jimbo, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the GT Omega EVO XL race style gaming chair. I have been looking for one of these for probably about maybe a month or so, and I started researching. There's a lot of companies out there who are actually doing it, and they've been doing it for probably about 4 or 5 years. And DX Racer, I think, was probably one of the first ones out there. I've seen recently Secret Labs has the Titan out there. X-Rocker that's even been around for a while. They've stepped up their game to be able to compete with some of these other companies. And I looked at a various few other ones. And I decided to actually pull the trigger and purchase the GT Omega chair for 2 reasons. Number one, mainly because of the price. The price point was actually very good. It lists for this particular chair. It's probably their kind of middle tier chair that they offer. It listed at $349.99, and it was the money that I wanted to spend. You can pay for the larger chairs. Obviously, larger people require larger chairs, more materials to build the chair. They could get upwards in the $500 to $600 range, and I didn't need something quite that big or quite that expensive. So I decided to go with the kind of middle tier for GT Omega. Again, the price was probably the biggest thing. The second thing was the quality. I looked at a lot of other sites, watched a lot of other reviews by other guys online, and the GT Omega seemed to have the most consistency, again, for me. So I decided to go with this chair for those 2 reasons. And today what we're going to do is we're going to unbox it, and I'm going to actually go ahead and go through the assembly process, and then we'll have a chance to walk around it and final thoughts. All right, so let's unbox this thing. Okay guys, so I got the box here, and like I said, it just arrived about an hour ago, and got my handy dandy kind of razor cutting tool here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start to open this up. And just before I do that though, you can just kind of see that the box took a little bit of just kind of wear and tear stuff through FedEx. No real damage to the box. There's one on the top here, and looks like this side got maybe caved in just a little bit. Again, this doesn't really have anything to do with GT Omega. Okay, more FedEx than anything. Just a small bump over here. Okay, and it looks like maybe a small one there. A little bit on the bottom there, but I'd say that overall it's in pretty good shape. As it came in the door from FedEx. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my tool going here, and I'm going to go ahead and open this guy and cut this in the back. It's pretty exciting. I've been waiting for this for a long time. And go ahead and open this. Okay, it looks like we got some foam padding here on the top. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start unpacking this and pulling some of this material off of the top, and we'll look at the components inside and look at the packing just a little bit closer. All right, so we got the box open here, and it looks like it's packed fairly well. Looks like it has a layer of real thin kind of packing foam or flat foam here. I'm going to just take that and set that over to the side, and we'll take a look here at the actual chair and the packaging of the chair. That looks as though obviously it is the backing of the chair, or the upright position or back of the chair. I know that most of the gaming chairs these days do ship with things like support pillows and lumbar support. So GT Omega obviously played their part here and included a headrest, it looks like. And we'll go ahead and get to some of the other parts here in a second. Okay, so the back the back of the chair is up right here, and it is still in the plastic. All right, just a real quick video here of what else is in here. It looks like these are the armrests. And now that I'm thinking of this and seeing this, I'm realizing that I had made mention to the fact that to get this chair to my house, it's been quite a journey and quite an effort on my part. I want to thank John over at GT Omega, because he threw in a little extra because it was quite a bit of a hassle to get this thing here. And he did throw a mat, okay, in as an extra. And I guess we can go ahead and we can open this up let's see once what this looks like. That seems to be something pretty cool. Not sure how that's going to kind of work here in my basement, but nonetheless, it is it's a nice little bonus for some of the hassle that I went through to get this thing here. So let's go ahead and continue taking a look at the box. Okay, guys, I got the plastic off of the leather back portion. Again, like all of the most of the other companies have, they have lumbar support. Okay, so this particular pillow here is going to have the ability to move up and down while you're sitting for long periods of time in gaming. There doesn't appear to be any blemishes or any issues with stitching. Everything seems to be pretty symmetrical here. I know that was one of the issues with some of the other companies. There was a lot of inconsistency in the stitching and balance of the chair. This one seems to be pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get to kind of just keep moving here with the rest of the chair. It looks like this is going to be the spider base here, and they, on their website, claim that this is probably one of the strongest out on the market. But again, I'm sure it's probably very consistent between most of the companies. They are saying that this is made out of cast aluminum here. Okay, and it looks to be of pretty good quality here. I do like the fact that there are webbing, and there is kind of webbing support. As someone who teaches engineering, we look at products like this and so forth with my students, and this is a really nice feature. Shows that there was some attention to some of the design of the star base. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep moving forward here with the rest of the video. Okay, getting unpacking to the seat base. Again, at first notice here, it does not seem to be any issues with any of the stitching. Again, the balance and the symmetry of the stitching and just the overall layout of the foaming and cushions of the chair seems to be pretty good. I will say this thing is really, really heavy. I just took about 5 minutes to get all of the bubble wrapping and foam off of the other armrest here, but just picking it up and moving it, this is where obviously most of the mechanics are located in the chair for reclining and so forth. And it is really heavy. And that, you know, for the most part, I think is a good sign of good quality. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the foam off of the other rest here, and then we'll continue. Okay, guys, I got the box out with all of the internals and mechanicals, and I've taken most of them out of the box. And it's kind of cool here. Okay, there's the casters. There is the mechanics, basically, that's going to probably allow for articulation for the vertical back and adjustability of some other parts of the chair. You've got your piston that is going to allow you to adjust the chair vertically up and down. And there's just a lot of covers and so forth over here that are going to cover up the sharp edges and metal edges and so forth on the actual chair. They do include a set of Allen wrenches with this. It looks like there are a couple screws in there as well. But I have my own tools, and I'm going to use my own tools with this. I've got some other Allen wrench drivers and so forth that are easier to handle than the included tools. If you are not mechanically inclined, I highly suggest that you get some help with this from somebody who is, or it could turn into probably a 3 or 4 hour project. And obviously, you probably want to get it together and be sitting in it much before that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start putting this thing together. Okay, folks, so we're back, and I time-lapsed the assembly video just obviously to speed up things so people just didn't kind of get bored watching it. But it does give you an inclination of what it takes to put it together. From start to finish, it took me about an hour to do it. I'd say plus or minus 10 minutes. I did have to go get some tools. All right, but the chair is done, and just looking at it, again, first impressions here, real nice product. Again, a lot of balance. The stitching and so forth seems to be very symmetrical. There doesn't seem to be any blemishes or scratches to the leather. It is a leather chair. Hence the reason why these chairs are, kind of expensive, because they, are made out of that product. But for the most part, let me spin this around and can kind of take a look at the back here. It's got the G2 Omega logo, okay, on the back. I did put the headrest on it. The G2 Omega Racing logo is embroidered. It is not some sort of graphic. Same thing with the pillow. The pillow is an embroidered logo. And all in all, first impressions here, it looks pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied. Looking at the articulation of the arms and so forth, it does have 3 points of articulation. Okay, the arms do move back and forth. Okay, with this button here. Okay, on the outside, they do have a button here that allows them to move up and down. And then the third button, okay, allows them to, I'm going to try to do this without moving it, allows them to move from left to right. They move outwards, okay, to inward to adjust for your elbows and so forth. As far as comfort, I did sit in the chair, and it does seem very comfortable. As far as compared to my old chair, yeah, it's obviously more comfortable than that, because that guy is just pretty much kind of worn out. And it's seen its days. It's probably going to go into my place of employment, and we'll find a home for it even where I work. I'm sure somebody would want it. But overall, pretty impressed with this. The comfort level is very good. I did sit in it for about 10 minutes before I started filming again here. And it's stiff, obviously, because it's new and the leather's new, and I'm sure that it will break in over time. But the product itself as it stands is pretty solid. Okay, guys, we're back. As you can see from the last video, the assembly of the chair went, I'd say, probably normal. It took me about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes to be able to assemble, fully assemble the chair with the tools that were included in the kit. I did actually use those. I didn't think I would, but I didn't actually have the size Allen wrench for the largest Allen head bolts that they included with the chair, so I actually had to use theirs, and it was fine. There was no problems. So the tools that come with it are pretty solid. Kind of hats off to GT Omega for including decent tools to be able to put it together. A lot of the times you get these chairs, the tools are just not very good. Now, I do want to talk about the customer service part of GT Omega. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I went through a lot of effort on my half to be able to get the chair to my house, to the point where I'm sitting in it right now. I started the process of ordering the chair roughly on Monday, December 11th. And I had a lot of problems on their website. I did go to their website, create an account, and chose the chair, put it in my shopping cart. And the checkout process to buy this chair crashed several times. I was unsuccessful on the very first attempt that I tried to purchase the chair. I got an invalid token error, and the website kind of crashed. So I kind of gave up on it the first night. I came back the next night and tried with the same thing with the same browser I used the night before. Got the same error. Tried another browser. Got to the checkout to hit pay and pay with a credit card. Same error. Tried a third browser. Was real persistent. Some of you are probably saying, well, why didn't you just give up on it, or why didn't you just call them? Well, I did. After the third time, I actually did email them. But also that night that I had attempted 3 times to get it, I used the credit card and went immediately to my banking institution, and lo and behold, there were 3 chairs actually in my queue for my credit card. So I immediately called Omega GT and said, hey guys, somebody needs to delete 2 of these chairs. I only need 1 chair. That was late at about 11 p.m. at night. And I sent that email. The next day I got up, it was definitely taken care of. There were no chairs there. So I had to go through this whole process again and again. This was over the course of about 2 or 3 days. So I got put off and got busy schedule and didn't have a chance to work on it till the 19th. So I reordered the chair, and the customer service person said, use the PayPal option. So I used the PayPal option a 4th time, and it failed again. It would not, it gave me a different error this time, but the PayPal option was also kind of broken on the website. So I emailed the customer service representative again and said, please just invoice me, send me a personal invoice via PayPal to pay for this chair. So I paid for it on the 19th. And he said, I said, hey, I'm going to get this by Christmas, right? And he said, oh, it goes out 1 to 2, 1 to 2 day overnight. We'll get it to you. Sorry about all the hassle. And paid for it, no problem, on Monday the 19th. Christmas came and went on Monday a week later, and it still wasn't at my house. So waited till Wednesday. And on Wednesday the 27th, I had emailed, actually on the 26th, the day after Christmas, I emailed, and he said, I'm so sorry. It got so busy that I forgot to check my own work, and I didn't send it out. I'm extremely sorry about this. So he literally overnighted the chair from the UK on Wednesday the 27th. He contacted me, said, it's going out today. And I said, I need to have this chair by Friday. And it did actually arrive here today. Today is December 29th. So on the customer service end, the guy was really, really prompt with his responses. There was a couple times that it was, a day or two, and I was kind of scratching my head. But once he initiated the contact with me via email, he was very prompt in actually taking care of this and getting the chair to me. So my advice would be to just, if you're going to order this chair from GT Omega, you might want to reach out to them and say, hey, I've seen online that you're having problems with your website. If I order this chair, am I going to get it? Has the issue been taken care of? Hopefully they'll give you an honest answer, and let you know what's going on with the website and, as far as finishing the transaction. Other than that, again, the chair is pretty solid. And in comparison, from what I'm seeing online to other chairs in this genre, it seems like it's actually pretty comparable. I chose this because of the price point. It was listed at $349.99 online. This is probably equivalent to any of the DX Racer or Secret Lab chairs, in this kind of middle of the line. They do have larger chairs that have more graphics. They come in different colors and so forth. I just didn't like the loudness of the colors, so I went with black. So again, pretty solid chair. If you do order this from GT Omega, again, inquire with them before you go through the transaction of paying for it. And, make sure that they've taken care of that, because it could turn into a hassle for you just like it was for me. Again, this is Jimbo, and I wish you guys the best in the new year. Have a good one.